Hello and welcome back to our Forest Challenge for episode 6. We've skipped through December. The reason for that is it literally snowed all day. Well, it was due to snow all day. I kept it on until around about midday. It was just so dark, and yeah, I mean we had very little to do anyway. Our grass wasn't ready. Our sugar beet wasn't ready, so I just thought we might as well skip. The first thing we need to check, because I can see from here that our lettuce are no longer producing, and that is because they don't have water. So we're going to have to move this out of the way. I'll just top the seed up, but it's not going to. This takes so long to key in. It's not going to empty the trailer, which is a shame. Put this here. Right, we'll go back and get the little 140. We had a bit of a tidy up after the last episode. There's a couple of bits that were still sort of milling around. There still is in regards to the bags and the pallet, but not having a front loader, I can't do anything about them at the minute, really, which is a shame. I think once we sort this out and get the greenhouse running again, I think possibly getting the I'll let it fill up. The grass is ready now, so it's ready to harvest, or ready to cut. So I think we're going to get that done. The only thing is, I can't decide what I want to do with the grass itself. Do I want to turn it into hay and sell it that way? Do I want to turn it into hay, store it, and potentially try to get sheep or cows? But the other thing I've noticed on this map as well, we don't have an animal dealer. So if we do get them, I think we'll have to buy them straight into the paddock, don't we? And that will involve a transport tax. Right, there we're full. Yeah, we'll get taxed for that. So whether that's something we'll be able to afford, because that's going to start getting expensive, isn't it? Does that take more than that? I don't even know how much water this takes. And the other thing about getting animals is we're going to have to clear a decent sized space. So I do want animals, because it's that whole, what we were talking about in the last episode, and in fact it wasn't last episode, it's the one I've just put out, episode 4, diversification is what I call it, because we were trying to get different revenue streams, weren't we? So we've got the barrel, the wind barrels, we've got the greenhouse, we've got our sugar beet in, we've got our grass that's now ready to cut. So it's just trying to get different ways of making money. We're definitely going to get some more generators going as well. Oh my god, how much does this take? Still not full. Looks like another 1,000 litres, doesn't it? Yeah, we're definitely going to get some more generators. There's a windmill that I want, but I want to be able to put it up on top of a hill rather than anything else. Or at least in a clearing, which we haven't got at the minute. Even though I skipped through December, we didn't do anything, in the fact that we didn't do any forestry. The only money that we made literally come from our 2 generators, our greenhouse and our wind barrels. So today we are going to have to do some forestry, even if I just sort of skip over it. It just depends on what or how much we spend on the grass work, I suppose. Right, there we are. Yeah, it did. So 5,000 litres it takes. Right, let's ditch that. And we'll come back down here, because we're going to need a mower. And the more we want, or the more I'm going to use, is the sickle bar one. Urgent phone call meant that basically I had to stop, so this isn't going to flow whatsoever. But, and I can't even remember, I know we were talking about mowers. The mower that we are going to use, I was along that line somewhere. This is smooth. The mower that we are going to use is this sickle mower. Don't need 15 horsepower. It's 1.8 meters. I mean, it does only go 4 mile an hour, where that goes at 9. But we used that, didn't we? We used that on Griffin. It was either that one or was that one we used? Might have been that one. They're very similar. Saying that, we could use. I could use that without the cover on, couldn't I? And it's a little bit cheaper. I don't think any of this matters. No, they're just all covers. I tell you what. What colours do we like? Probably that one to be right. 1100. Let's get this 24 horsepower requires. Let's get that one. And we'll get cracking with this. We'll get these we'll get these gates closed. Is that how this stays? Ah, there we are. There we are. Right, if it's on that side, we'll start here. It's away. Nine mile an hour. That's a lot better than a sickle at 4, isn't it? Get round here. I mean, such an awkward shape. I was just trying to use as much of the land as possible as what we had available to us. I mean, God, at this stage of any sort of, I know we haven't got survival in the title, but any sort of survival let's play, the first probably 10 episodes are possibly the most important. If you don't get them right, you're really up against it after that. I wonder why this keeps changing down gear. It's really annoying however it's doing it. Yeah, if you don't get them first 10 episodes or so right, it's like backs to the wall straight away. I found when we did the No Man's Land, the Let's Play on there, there was other survival Let's Play on there. There was a couple of things I definitely would have done different. And even though obviously that was like a massive success, that it took 140 episodes or something, so it wasn't like we didn't get it straight away. Got this issue with the canopy again, haven't we? We'll extend this grass field. Maybe even in this episode. It just depends what we end up getting done with it, because I know there's quite a cheap tedder. I think eventually I'd like to get some sort of fermenter on here. It's probably the cheapest and most efficient way to do it. I mean, there is a couple of cheap. Why did that just stop? There is a couple of cheap bale wrap options, isn't there? If we want to do silage that way, which could be an option. I mean, we haven't got the money for any of them at the minute. I'm not doing this, you know. I've got this on cruise control. So when you're seeing it stop starting the way it is, that's either the mod doing it or the tractor. I mean, this isn't too bad really. What was it? Was it 1 point? Is this 1.9 meters? I will go back and get them bits, by the way. I won't just leave them. Can't afford to leave them. We need all the grass we can get. I still can't decide though. Here or try to go for silage. I don't even know if we can afford a windrow at the minute, actually. I don't know what I know there's a really cheap tedder. In fact, there's 2 really cheap tedders. I suppose there is a cheap windrower, isn't there? But it's the one we've used on Griffin, and I think we actually used it on No Man's Land as well to start with. So I'd rather not use that one. I'd rather use a different one. I think we're going to get quite a bit off here, you know. I think this field might be deceptively big. Which would be very nice. I mean, obviously, if we do silage, we won't get the money straight away. But one of the things I was thinking about here is, if we tedded it, then there's quite a cheap. Oh, let's see what. Can we see that straight away? Right, we're looking for the blue. This is going to be something so obscure, isn't it? Like a barrel. What's that? Road salt. There's a great demand for road salt, from which we get nothing for. I was talking about here, wasn't I? Yeah, if we did here, there is that that mini. Is it compact? Is it a compact bale or something like that, where you get the tiny bales, what you can pick up by hand. That would be an option. We'll have to have a look, see how much the fermenters are. Because if they're only sort of between 10 and 20 grand, we need to do some forestry anyway, because we need to clear some more area. So it might be that we end up just getting a fermenter in. I'm sure the ones on No Man's Land weren't that expensive, and you might be able to get mods where it ties in with something else, so it might be that and a shed. Let's quickly put this bit now. Yeah, so if we can do that, where it sort of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, that would be brilliant. I bet something like that's going to cost. I'm sure I've seen them before. I bet they cost an absolute fortune. Money, obviously, what we don't have. And I know doing forestry can get a bit sort of tiresome, and I feel that too, because I'm not massive into it. And obviously, with the equipment that we can afford, it's not like we can get the big machinery to do it quickly. But if our aim is to try to build a road out of here, then we need to do forestry for 2 reasons. Not only to get income, but the primary reason really is to build a road out, isn't it? And I think I know which way we're going to go. I think we're going to go in... If you look where that road is there, coming out of the farm, we'll use that road, but then it sort of veers off over in that direction. I think that is possibly going to be the way we go. However, that bit of land to buy that we're going to have to build through is just under $1 million. How on earth are we going to get $1 million? That's the issue. And that is also why it's one of the first survival like challenges or let's plays that I haven't put it on hard mode for, because I think it would be, we would need hundreds and hundreds of episodes to be able to achieve it. I don't think we'd be able to do it in any sort of reasonable time. Almost done. And then I'm getting to the point where I really am going to have to think of what we're going to do with it. You can hear the whirling, can't you? I've got the headphones on just slightly. I think once it comes to tedding and windrowing, if that's what we do, well, we'd definitely be windrowing it anyway. I was going to say, if we use a fermenter, I'm going to have to buy a forage wagon, aren't I? It's just cost all the time. I know the cheap balers as well. You can get them cheap Class and John Deere balers, can't you, for 12 grand, but the square bales, and we can't wrap from the back of the tractor a square bale, so we wouldn't be able to do silage. I suppose the other option is to get a pit, but I'd still need a forage wagon. Right, last bit. Yeah, I think, let's have a look from up here. I think that's deceptively big. I think we're going to get quite a bit off here. Right, let's, what do you think we'll be in? Do we think it'll be in here? Is that one? Fermenting silo, 15 grand. Do we have any others? I mean, 15 grand isn't bad. That's like bang in the middle of what I said, wasn't it? I don't know if we've got anything else on here. No, we haven't. Where's it gone? There it is. So how big's that going to be? Yeah, alright, so we've got the space to put that, haven't we? I mean, to be honest, like I said, we are going to cover bits of our grass field, but that's not an issue. But I could even put it back here, couldn't I? Around where the sheds are. That wouldn't be bad at all either. Right. I think we're going to do that. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go and quickly buy a windrow though. Because what we'll do, we'll get as much of this grass work as we can, which I think, to be honest, will just be getting the windrow done. And there is a cheap forage wagon on there, I know there is. It's just under £4 I think. But by the time we buy the windrow, we're not going to be able to afford that. Right, windrows. So the absolute efficient best choice on here is that one there. But we've used that on at least 2 series before. I thought there was a one, I think I'm thinking about Tedder's, I thought there was a one for a couple of grand. That's disappointing. I mean, that's 6, we're not far from that. Is that one of... That's new. Right, before we can go any further, regardless of what we want to do, we don't have the money for a windrow, and I'm not using that, this one, even though it's fantastic and it's such a good mod. I've used it like on at least 2, possibly even 3 series. I think it is 3 actually, 3 series before. So I'm gonna go and start clearing some more area, which I think might be that behind us. Oh, should we do it around the grass field? I could do it around the grass field, couldn't I? We'll clear some more of that. Then we can extend the grass field once we've done everything we need, and we'll be able to afford. I'll do up to the amount so we can afford the windrow and the fermenter. So I shall not be long. Right, we're back on. It's been a couple of hours in-game hours. What I've done is, you can see we've got up to just below 15 grand. That isn't enough to do everything we need to do. And just noticed how off-centre that is. That, in my mind, that should have been over there. I didn't realise it curved round to the left like that. It's going to make it quite interesting, isn't it, once we start getting more of a yard, but we digress. What I've done is I've gone along here, and you can see the space where I've cleared. There's still going to be more where I'm going to clear, but what I want to do, what I want to try out, is one of the winches. Now, I've not used these before, and I might have to move these out the way. In fact, I'm definitely going to move these out of the way right now. Yeah, one of the winches, what we can get, we can put on the back of the tractor. I'm hoping we've got enough power for them. I'm not sure if there's a power requirement on them, to be honest. Put this to the side here. And I'll quickly move this one as well. Right, go on, get round. There we go. Yeah, there's a few different ones we can choose from, and yeah, I'm not sure what the power requirement is for them, so we might not be able to use every one available. But I'm sure there'll be a couple. I know that we've definitely got a couple of mods on there, because before we started the map, I downloaded a couple. I was having a look as well. That's new. That wasn't on there when we came on. Saying that we've got nowhere near that amount of money though. I was just having a look at the used machinery. That is really interesting. I don't know how long it's going to stop on there for. But to get a tractor like that for 22 grand. Yeah, it is really, really interesting. It's not something we're going to do straight away. If that sits on there for quite a while, we might come back to that. But let's so we want to be in forestry. Right, it's one of these, so that's 7,500. I'm sure there's a couple of mods though. There's one. It takes 40 horsepower, that's only 5 grand. That's the only other one. I thought there was another one on there. But I think This one here, does that? How much power does that need? 60 horsepower. So that's actually more than what we've got. That's an even bigger one. Let's try this one. It costs more for the without a grid. I think I prefer the darker red. Right, we'll go for that. I'm just hoping that this one works alright. I might need the menu one for this as well. Let's just get that on for now. Right, there it is. So it's L3. Am I pressing? What am I doing wrong here? Shouldn't this say? Shouldn't this say something like attach hand tool or something like that? Let's chop this in half. See if this is going to work now. Ah, attach tree. I wonder if that would have worked without cutting it then. Oh, I'll tell you what else we need to do as well. See if we can, how many we can attach. Detach. Okay, out of there. Right, 400 out. Let's now go and try, see if we can get a full tree. See if that works, or even a couple of trees if we can. Is that big enough just for? Ah, it's too heavy. We'll try this one over here. Right, full tree. Come on, get in line, get straight. There we are. So yeah, we don't want to attach it too high up, do we? Because then it'll end up sideways. My worry about this is if it's a full tree. I know I should get around $700 for this tree. However, if we put the tree in like this, is it not going to recognise the bit that's sticking out? That's my worry. It hasn't. So we're still gonna, I mean, it's still gonna be quicker, but we're gonna still have to cut it once we're back, so that the whole tree is within the sell point. So because only half the tree was in the sell point there, we literally only got half the cost for it. However, this is still loads quicker than what we've been having to do, and it's only going to get quicker as we get further away from the sell point. Doing it like this. I can take that off now. It might be that today we don't end up getting the grass up. We might have to do that in tomorrow's episode. Or the next episode, sorry. There. Well, I think it will be tomorrow's episode because I'm releasing these in twos, aren't I? Let's get these in there. Right, this should give us close to 700. Yeah, it did. So that's better. That is what we want. But I'm quite impressed with this. Things like this, these winches, aren't something I've particularly used because I don't tend to do forestry. And when I do, it's normally just chopping them up and putting them in the back of a trailer. I mean, if you can remember, on FS19, I used this mod particularly, not this mod, the mod that I'm about to talk about, on Jack Pine, where there was, it was a semi-trailer, and basically, it was an auto-load log trailer, and it was fantastic. I mean, cheat-wise, it was all day wrong, but, yeah, it was so good. So good to use. If that one. If I could get it on here, I think, given the scale of the task ahead of us that we need to do, I think I'd get it in a heartbeat. I'd justify it somehow. I would pull that off there, wouldn't it? Typical. I think we're starting to, so 744, fantastic. I reckon we're starting to get quite deep into this video now. I'm going to go back off. I'm going to carry on doing some more of these. Exactly the same as what we do now. And then see how far we can get before it starts getting dark, I think. If we can get, even if we can get to the point where we can afford, get off, maybe the fermenter, which we're not far away, and the equipment, then I'll possibly stop there. Even if we have to do the, oh my god, it's not very good. Might have to come remove some of these stumps. Even if we get to the point where we have to just save the grass work until the next video, the next in-game day in February. However, I think the beets are going to be ready then. And that's going to have to take over because I'm not sure how long they last. I don't know if we'll get a couple of months out of them. I mean, they're going to be sold straight away as well because we've got no silo for the beets. I have no idea when the best time of year is for them because it's something we rarely do, is it? Okie doke. I'm going to jump. I'll do a few more of these and I'll be back shortly. This has been so much quicker. This mod is absolutely great. I mean, this mod is good, but this bit of kit, should we say, because Giants do have theirs, don't they? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's so much quicker. I think, to be honest, as well, it's quicker. It's even quicker than putting it all in a trailer. Certainly, a small trailer like this, like what we've got on the micro tractor there. Because then you've got issues with stacking it and and them dropping off and just not going on right. And you can spend more time stacking it than you can actually cutting it and carting it. So yeah, I am well impressed with this. Now I've got the hang of the controls as well. Makes it even better. So most of them has just been one cut. A couple of them we've had to do two. I mean, we'll get 600 and odd for this. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What I'm going to do now is we're going to cut down. Do I want to cut round there, or do I want to cut round there? I won't be able to drag them over. I tell you where I'm going. It's going to be a right pain to do it though. No, it's not. We'll be able to drag it in. Let's spin around here. We'll do some at the back because I intend in the next episode to extend the yard a bit. Put this over here. I'm going to be finishing the episode shortly. We're going to do the rest of the grass work in the next one. However, the next one might still be in this in-game day. Because like I said, as soon as we go on the next in-game day, I'm pretty sure the sugar beet's going to be ready. And I need to get as much done as possible prior to that happening. Oh, the other thing is, we can winch two at the same time. However, the 140 was struggling a little bit with it. It did do it, but it was struggling. And that was on the flat as well. I think if we get a more powerful tractor, then two will probably just be the standard. That will drag at any one time. Obviously, there's different bits of kit as well that I said we're going to be using. We are going to use more of the forestry equipment on here. Stuff that in the other Let's Plays we've done, I'll have never used before. But we will do that in here. Right. I think there's one more. So that one. Oh, I'm thinking of that one. This one, I think. This looks out of place. This is massive, isn't it? Could do with some more of them. Right, let's try. This will be the last one. We'll do this. We'll see how much we get for this tree here. That is absolutely huge. We got some more of them. There's a couple there. Yeah, right next to it. Those bags are going to be right in the way, aren't they? Right, come on, get these dragged on. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a pain, just because of how big it is. I mean, look at that. We're still going to have to carry a load anyway, aren't we? I think this one is going to be the exception to the rule. Get that dropped off. We'll do this by hand. Just I don't think there's going to be any other way around it. I wonder if there's a sawmill that would be able to look at getting. I mean, I know you can get the one we used in No Man's Land, the sawmill. It's like 20 grand, isn't it? It's dirt cheap, but it's massive, like absolutely huge. and we haven't got the space for that. I mean, that would, if we can get a smaller one, then that's going to generate us an absolute ton of cash, isn't it? I dread to think what this episode's up to, by the way. I bet we're over 40 minutes. I literally have no idea, because I've been recording it in chunks, as I've been jumping and going off and doing other things. But, this is going to be a long one. Right. Yeah, I thought that might be too heavy. And a last one, hopefully. Yes. See how much we get for this. One tree, 1,562. Not bad at all. Right. We are going to leave it here because we're not going to be able, just without making the video ridiculously long, like probably over an hour, we're not going to be able to get done what we want to do. So I'm going to stay in this game day. I'm going to clear some more of these trees, see how much we can get up to. I'm kind of hoping as well that that other massey stays in the used machinery, and if it does, I'm really tempted to get that. If it drops off, it drops off. There's nothing we can do about it. But if it doesn't, I think that would be absolutely cracking for us. And probably in the next episode as well, I would imagine we'd go into the next day, and then our sugar beet should be ready. But that's going to be a big job as well, getting this done. Just the way we're going to have to harvest and collect it, I think is going to be a massive job. So we'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.
PlayStation